Greetings, gratitude, and welcome to day 2 of our 7-day micro course on emotional responses and co-regulation. We're kicking the weekday off with a big one, which is emotional shutdown. And you've seen it. You ask someone a question and they just check out. Or you give a young kid, directions and the child just completely ignores them or zones out or refuses to engage, right? Or you're in a conflict with your partner and they just shut down and stop responding. Maybe even you freeze up in tough situations, replaying everything you should have said, hours later, thinking about, I should have said this or I should have said that. If you've ever thought, why won't they just respond? Then this lesson is for you. I can even hear myself saying, do you hear me talking to you? But the thing is, no one is ignoring us on purpose. Our nervous system sometimes just checks out. Basically, when we experience stress, our brain doesn't just react emotionally, it reacts physically. Remember those 4 main nervous system responses that we have available to us to respond to stress, which is fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. Emotional shutdown happens when the brain decides this is too much and it basically hits the emergency brakes, right? Your nervous system is saying, I can't fight this, I can't escape it, so I'll just stop. Okay, now we're going to talk about the root of why some of us shut down. The part of our brain that's responsible for logic and problem solving is the prefrontal cortex. And it literally goes offline when we're overwhelmed. That's why in the moment we can't find the words or explain exactly what's wrong. And this starts sometimes for us in childhood. If someone's emotions weren't safely received as a child, we learn that speaking up gets us in trouble. We hear things like, you're too sensitive, right? Or we learn that crying is unacceptable. Phrases like, I'll give you something to cry about, right? Or we learn that expressing frustration is dangerous, right? Like, fix your face before I fix it for you, right? Okay, so those are messages that we get in childhood that cause us to, shut down as adults. We may freeze in conversations or become unavailable when emotions get really heavy. And it's not about avoiding responsibility, it's about survival. And in my former lifetimes, my go-to way of trying to deal with this was fawning, right? I would try to over-explain or fix or over-give to someone that was in shutdown, but that doesn't work. And here's why. Because they've already checked out. Like, you may think, okay, if I just explain it better, if I say the right thing, if I just prove I'm not mad, they'll come back. But nope. When someone is in freeze, they aren't processing language the same way. So here are a few things that do work. For a child, instead of demanding engagement, just slow things down. Something like, I can tell this is a lot for you right now. Let's pause and try again in a few minutes, because kids need time to process before re-engaging. For yourself, when you feel yourself shutting down, you can take a step back. Something like, I am safe to take time to process my emotions before responding can be helpful. You don't have to push through discomfort, right? You can pause, breathe, and come back when you're ready. For a loved one, like if someone shuts down in conversation, do not chase them, okay? Give a simple, I notice you're quiet. Do you need space before we continue? Sometimes silence is not stonewalling, it's recovery. All right, I promised you short lessons for the rest of the course, and that's what you got. That's the end, right? For the reflection points today, I want you to think about, if you've ever felt too overwhelmed to respond, or think of a time when someone else shut down during a tough moment. What did you say? Did it help? Did it make it worse? If this lesson has resonated with you, take a moment to notice when you or someone around you seems withdrawn, and instead of reacting with frustration or taking it personally, try responding with patience and presence. The affirmation for today is, I allow myself to slow down, process, and re-engage when I'm ready. Another good one, it's a bonus affirmation, is, I honor my need for space and extend the same grace to others. All right, see you in the next lesson.